Your soul shall be mine. Let the hunt begin.
I'll keep the shaky zip gunner, I guess, and the eagle horn bow.
Why do you call?
I mean, obviously we need to take Toxic Arrow, right? Shaky Zip Gunner lines up really well against the 1-3.
Speak your peace.
So he is Zoo, but he's had to tap twice, so that's good for me. Deathstalker Rexar should be really good in this matchup.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
So I guess I'm just clearing here. The Abomination is probably not the best thing to buff. Would have preferred buffing this just because it's coming down this turn. Obviously buffing the Pyromancer gave me the combo. But any buff is a good buff. This is still a 5-mana 6/6 taunt.
Total corruption, total power.
Well, that's really annoying. I guess I'm playing an Abomination here. If I play the 4/4, he can send the 5/4 into it, and send my guy into his 2/4, and then the whole board dies in theory. If I play the 6/6, he probably has to send both of his guys into it. I get to keep my Shaky Zip Gunner alive at 1 health, but he could have Despicable Dreadlord, that would be kinda bad. Let's just go for the 6/6 and hit him in the face. You could also have like Doomguard here, but that's not even good, right? Nice, lost his Death Knight, so I can win the long game for sure. Just a matter of surviving until the long game. As long as he doesn't also have Despicable Dreadlord, this is fine. I can actually just clear with Deathstalker Rexar here. And that is probably the play. Alright, Shaky Zip Gunner. I need you to buff this guy. This guy right here, the Wild Pyromancer. God damn it, Shaky Zip Gunner.
Why do you call?
Dispatch Kodo is pretty much always the best. Can take a Poisonous Dispatch Kodo. What's that, a 7 mana 4/6? I'm gonna be on 8 mana next turn anyway. So maybe I'd prefer to have the taunt. What does Poisonous kill that a 4-power Dispatch Kodo doesn't? Doomguard, I guess, Bone Mare stuff, Cobalt Scalebane, there's actually quite a bit.
I greet you.
Probably just gonna go for the poison. And then we'll just play out another big Abomination.
Trust the pirate's code. I'm in charge now.
Is he able to protect his Darkshire Councilman? That's the important consideration this turn. Looks like he's not.
Unleash me.
So the Poisonous Kodo is a 4/6. Can just straight up kill the Dreadlord. Alternatively, I could go Pyromancer, Toxic Arrow, the 4/5. No, that's actually not good enough. So the only way I can kill the 4/5 is with the Poison Kodo. Oh no, Pyromancer, Toxic Arrow, and then Small Kodo works for a full clear. I leave myself with a 3/1 and a 2/4. That actually seems pretty good. Hopefully I know how to math. And then next turn I can play Kodo plus hero power. Or maybe I can try to be greedy and land this hidden cache on the Kodo. Wait, it has poisonous, so that's not really that good. Is this Corpse Taker Zoo? The legendary Corpse Taker Zoo I've heard so much about? What's hero power? If I can build something reasonable here, it's probably preferable to using the Kodo to kill a 4-2. Or kill a 1-2, really. None of these are particularly good. I guess just setting up a preemptive bloat bat this turn could be okay. I feel like I just want the Pantry Spider to give me some more flexibility with what I pick here. Take the River Croc so I can also play this guy, I guess. I don't know, maybe setting up for a preemptive bloat bat here was pretty good.
To Northrend.
Another Argent Commander.
Speak your peace.
He's still trading because he's pretty weak, actually. Do I have lethal? I have 3 on board, so I need 7 from hand. Oh, I have 7 from hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Interesting. I didn't know I had that much damage from hand.
Rexa versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine. Let the hunt begin.
Eagle Hornbow is really good early game. Deathstalker XR is the best card in my deck. Consecration's good against Zoo, and the hero power is what I need to beat Control Warlock, probably.
Side effects? No. Trust me. I ain't talking.
Okay.
This might sting.
Well, I get to kill it, so that's cool. I guess I'll just hero power. Could have coined out the Shaky Zip Gunner, but I don't even have anything to buff, so that's probably a bad idea. Let's see what we can pick up here. Let's take the Pyromancer. I don't actually know if it's the best pick, but if I get it buffed with the Shaky Zip Gunner, I can do my Toxic Arrow things. So I'm obviously doing this, and I think I might just equip the Eagle Horn Bow, because I really don't want this Abomination, like, killing one of my other dudes. He might already have to defile this board. Wow, that's a lot of mana to deal 1 damage. I'm just gonna play out some dudes here. And I'm actually just gonna bow his face, because I feel like I can just be a hunter and kill him. So I can go Pyromancer Hunter's Mark on this, and then I get to push 10 damage, I think. And then next turn, Dispatch Kodo Hero Power is lethal. Sure. What heals do they play that are playable on turn 7? It's all just like Earthen Ring Farseer garbage. Nothing too big. Although I guess if he did have Defile Earthen Ring, I wouldn't. I actually would have lethal, because the Shaky Zip Gunner buffs my Dispatch Kodo, effectively dealing 2 damage directly to his hero. Wow. Turn 7 lethal with this deck. That can't be normal.
Rexa versus Maiev.
None can escape my fury.
I'm tempted to keep these toxic arrows because I need some hot toxic arrow gameplay. I'll keep one.
I'm in charge now.
Show me a Galactic Crawler. Not quite a Galactic Crawler. Man, he has a lot of dudes on the board. Sure. Let's try to slow down this damage incoming. I would get wrecked pretty hard by a captain there if he had it. I think he probably would have coined out the captain that turn, or I think that would have been the better play at least. But I don't know. I've been seeing some sketchy plays today at rank 15. Probably gonna go for a 3-drop plus tracking here. Hopefully it's not Cat Trick. Eagle Hornbow is just the best card. Get the Acolyte down. He trades pretty nicely into the Swashbuckler. So we tested for Cat Trick and Snipe and Hidden Cache. So it could be Freezing Trap, Misdirection, Explosive Trap, Snake Trap, Venom Strike. So things that happen when I attack is what we've narrowed it down to.
Think.
This guy's toast.
Okay. I'll take 2 cards out of the Acolyte. Let's see what happens. Well, I guess I'm always playing tracking if I'm playing Eagle Hornbow. I feel like I'm gonna need the second heal, honestly. Alright, let's see what happens here. Hopefully it's not snakes. That's real bad.
Side effects?
Well, I mean, Abomination can clean those up next turn, but it's a lot of stuff to have to deal with. I would have definitely preferred if that was Freezing Trap or Misdirection.
You are not welcome here.
Wow, killing my dude, huh? So if I go for Abomination here, he's just going to trade the 4-1 in. I could go for Abomination and send my weapon into the 4-1, I guess. I feel like I'd rather just go for Unleash plus Animal Companion, though. Puffer lets me clear, Leok lets me almost clear. Or no, Leok also lets me clear. Combined with Unleash the Hounds, that is. Misha does not let me clear. But I can kill his 2 biggest guys.
This guy's toast.
Okay, non-comboed SI7 agent.
This guy's toast.
It seems pretty inefficient so far.
This guy's toast.
If he had just Shadow Stepped the snake to start with, couldn't he have made a dagger that turn? I feel like there was a slightly better way he could have played that, but I'm not certain. Let's just go for an Abomination here. Looks like it probably trades with this guy's. Bone Mare is the punish, of course. There's the Bone Mare right off the top. I really want to get a sick Toxic Arrow Abomination clear at some point, but the Pyromancer Toxic Arrow is just so good here. I guess I could have drawn a card off my Acolyte. Maybe having the stats on it is nice though. Probably should have drawn the card. Okay. That thing's big, but at least it doesn't have like a scary death rattle or something. I can't quite full clear. I do want to do something with the Pyromancer though, because at 1 health it's going to get daggered eventually, so I think I'll kill this guy. And you know, sometimes I just draw the Galaka Crawler, that's pretty good. Wow. Sea Giant Tempo Rogue. That doesn't seem good to me. Alright, let's get the A-Bomb up. If he has to send the Sea Giant into it, it takes 6 damage, and then we can trade in our 2/2. Or Baron Geddon can clean it up. Okay, or sometimes he just kills it himself with Explosive Trap. Can trade a 3/2 into that. I could also just push face damage here. Hit him down to 10, play the Baron Geddon, it sets him down to 8, and it seems like it's probably not that easy for him to deal with the Baron Geddon. It's gotta be better to just trade this off though if I'm playing Baron Geddon, so we'll just do that. Leaving a 3/1 up after the Baron Geddon AoE doesn't seem that smart. And even just the Baron Geddon is enough to threaten lethal, because he hits for 8, does 2 at the end of the turn, and then I have hero power for 12 damage. Well, that's annoying. I think I'm still pretty favored here. So I'm hero powering, trading in here so the AoE kills this guy. If I trade in the Geddon, it goes down to 4 health. Could just shoot it with the Dispatch Kodo, or I could get the 2 Dispatch Kodo damage to face. If I do that, he's at 5. And if he could somehow deal with the Baron Geddon, I guess I'd be closer to lethal, but there's like no way he can deal with the Baron Geddon, right? He doesn't have cards to combo Vile Spine Slayer. I think it's pretty safe to just do it like this.
Well played.
I don't think there's anything that kills me. Leroy was one off. Alright. We got there eventually. I tried really hard to make the Toxic Arrow work. I really wanted to get a good game, where I landed the Toxic Arrow on the Abomination or the Baron Geddon or a buffed up Wild Pyromancer, and had some like really relevant AoE that cleared the board and won me the game. But after more than 5 hours of recording, that just never happened. I either had a better use for Toxic Arrow earlier in the game as just 2 mana deal 2 damage, it was often pretty good with Wild Pyromancer, or kind of like a mini swipe, 3 damage to one thing and 1 to everything else. Occasionally I did get to cast it on one of my smaller dudes and then trade it up, but even that didn't really happen very often. It just seemed like in the games where it would have been good to Toxic Arrow one of my big boys, the Abomination or the Baron Geddon, I was just dead before I got to that point, or I just didn't have the combo, or like I said, there was just a better clear with like Toxic Arrow Pyromancer or something. And as far as the hand buff component that I had in the deck before, where hopefully I would buff a Pyromancer and then I could Toxic Arrow my own Pyromancer for a clear, it often just turned out to not be very practical, because when I was playing Shaky Zip Gunner, if I buffed my Pyromancer, it was a 2 mana 5/4, and it turns out that a lot of times when you have a 2 mana 5/4, you want to just play it as a 2 mana 5/4 instead of part of a board clear combo, because 2 mana 5/4 is pretty strong. so the hand buffing element, comboed with the Toxic Arrow, didn't really work out too well. So even though the deck didn't really work out the way I was hoping, I guess I can talk about some of the changes I made. The deck tracker version is the one I was playing most of my games with, and the one in-game is the one that I've ended up on now. So I ended up cutting the Explosive Bloatbat. The card's like just pretty bad. It dies way too easily, and it's too easy to play around the Death Rattle. And by cutting that, that allowed me to cut the Shaky Zip Gunners and the Hidden Cache, because I wanted a +2 health buff so I could potentially Toxic Arrow my Exploding Bloatbat. But now, since my only hand buff synergy is the Wild Pyromancer, at least in terms of stuff I want to hand buff specifically for Toxic Arrow, I could go for Grime Street Smuggler instead, because I only need 1 buff on the Pyromancer, and I just felt like since it was a battle cry, it was a little bit more reliable than the Shaky Zip Gunner, and a 2/4 is arguably better than a 3/3. Not sure if this is an excellent change, but I thought I'd try it out since I got rid of the Bloatbat. I also ended up cutting the Stitch Trackers for Acolytes of Pain, just for some more card draw. Sometimes Acolyte gets multiple cards, Stitch Tracker can only ever get 1. And Stitch Tracker isn't actually card draw, it's more like resource generation. And it turns out that the minions in my deck aren't super important. The important cards are Toxic Arrow and Deathstalker Rexar. Stitch Tracker can't find those, and Acolyte of Pain can. Plus Acolyte of Pain has some synergy with both Toxic Arrow and Wild Pyromancer, so I liked that. I also ended up playing another Tracking and another Mistress, just some consistency on the Tracking. And I felt like I needed some more heals out of the Mistress because sometimes I was dying. Unfortunately, I didn't keep very good stats with the deck. My deck tracker says I had a 31% win rate, but I know a lot of games I was rage conceding when I knew there wasn't going to be any hot Toxic Arrow gameplay. And it's pretty stupid to do that. But I'm at the rank 15 floor, so I don't have much to lose, I guess. But I guess 31% win rate with Toxic Arrow Hunter, when I was also just actively throwing games, isn't as bad as I would have expected. So maybe someone with more patience than I can refine this into a rank 1 legend deck. So to conclude, the deck did not perform like I was hoping. It was really hard to get a nice Toxic Arrow on an Abomination or Barongeddon setup. I played a lot of hours trying to find that hot gameplay, but it just wasn't happening. And at a certain point you just have to admit defeat.